A damning report on a governance crisis at the University of Cape Town has come under fire from members of Parliament. Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, Science and Innovation has taken issue with the report, which was drafted by an independent panel commissioned by the university and chaired by former Supreme Court of Appeal Judge President Lex Mpati. The panel found that former Vice Chancellor Mamokgethi Phakeng and Council Chair Babalwa Ngonyama committed what they called serious governance failures by misleading the university about the resignation of the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Learning and Teaching, Professor Lis Lange. The parliamentary committee is insisting it will be reviewed, should be reviewed by an independent external assessor. Let's find out more from committee member Tebogo Letsie. Good evening, Mr. Letsie, and thank you very much for joining us on the program. So the report is the result of an investigation by an independent panel, as said in the intro, led by a former Supreme Court of Appeal Judge President. Is the committee's issue with the panel or the contents of the report?
Good evening to you, Imran, and your viewers at home. Our issue with the report or the content of the report is actually the process. If you look at what would have happened for this report, the compilation of this report, is that the University Council drew up the terms of reference. And then halfway through the report, they then drew up the revised terms of reference. So that is the first point of departure for us. Now it looks as if, they had a predetermined view of what the report should actually come out looking like.
So why then was the process, either by the ministry or by someone else in education, or at least at the highest level, red flag that this might pose a problem later on? Why go through the process, and I imagine a costly one at that, to have it, basically shot down as it has been in the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee? Maybe if we go back a little bit, late last year, I think around November last year, we had a meeting with UCT. Unfortunately, the meeting could not continue because the ministry then informed us that the minister himself is having bilaterals with the council of UCT. We attempted to have another meeting in March again this year. And again, we could not have that meeting in the portfolio committee with UCT. We only had a meeting with them, I think, around June. And they did not have a report. They were telling us at the time already that the report is almost done, and then we are going to interact with it around the fourth term of our parliamentary term. And then we had a meeting with them on the 30th of August. The report was not ready. We did raise an issue there that we have a problem with the process itself. But nonetheless, because the report is done, let's see what it says. We have seen the report, and it confirms what our fears was from the beginning, that it speaks about the governance failures of UCT, which is what we had already said previously. So it was not us who said they must start the process, and then at the end were saying the process was flawed. Are you throwing this report and its findings out completely? Sorry? Are you throwing the entire report out completely? No, we are saying if you look at the report itself, the report, the panel itself, we don't have a problem with. The report, we don't have a problem with, except that the report is compiled, with the terms of reference that, the panel could not do anything outside of the terms of reference. So that's the point we want to make. So, but the report itself speaks about governance failures of UCT Council. It's the same report speaks about. So we're not throwing away the report itself, but we are saying there's more to this. And the minister who is empowered by the Higher Education Act should then appoint an independent assessor to look at some of these issues that are raised here in depth, but also other issues that relates to governance failures of the council, the UCT.
All right. Tebogo, what it sounds like then is, as you're saying, you don't have a problem with the panel, you don't have a problem with the chair of the committee. What it sounds like is that you want to add something else onto the report itself, or investigate certain aspects that the report has raised. Is that the correct understanding of your position?
Yeah, partially, yes. We are saying, because the terms of reference only allowed the panel to move from point A to point B, and we are saying there are issues that may not be contained in the report, which might be point B to point C and point D and all of that. So the independent panel or assessment can then come and assist us with those things, because we believe that there's serious issues that are happening at that institution, as they were laid bare by the SRCs there, they were laid bare by the workers at those institutions, the workers at UCT yesterday.
All right. So you'd have no problem then with the council, because this is what the council is intending to do, is to go ahead and implement those recommendations. You would then ostensibly have no problem with them doing that.
No, the same council, the same report speaks about the fitness of the same council. So it says there's governance problems at UCT. Who's responsible for governance is the same council. The same report speaks about the same council members, doing day-to-day management or running of the institution, which is the role of management. So how do we then allow the same council to implement some of the issues as raised in the report? And because they are not going to, excuse themselves, because they themselves are a party that is affected here, they themselves. So I don't think, it makes sense for them to become a player, a referee, and if you like, a supporter at the same time.